Thank you, Mr. President. And you all have just heard from several members of the President's White House Coronavirus Task Force, and we are truly blessed to have the kind of leadership that we have. Whether it be Admiral Polovchek, who is organizing the distribution of tens of millions of supplies, whether it be Dr. Birx and Dr. Fauci, or analyzing the data literally hour by hour, or whether it be that whole of government approach that you stood up, Mr. President, calling on every agency of government, including the VA, HHS, and every agency. I hope the American people know, at this President's direction, we are sparing no expense. We are doing whatever it takes. We're marshaling the full resources of the federal government to respond to the challenges facing communities impacted today by the coronavirus, and making sure every community in America has the support. We've also, as the President said so many times, we've forged a seamless partnership with states around the country. As the President just reflected, by this Tuesday, with another 840 military medical personnel arriving in New York City, there will be some 3,000 Department of Defense and HHS personnel on the ground to supplement and to provide relief to healthcare workers, really at the epicenter of the coronavirus in the New York City area. And you just heard the VA is opening up bed space. In New Jersey, I spoke at the President's urging today with Governor Murphy. 500 ventilators announced today being built on the supplies that we have already provided. We were able to coordinate with him to extend all federal coordination on testing in New Jersey through May the 30th, if the need is there, and also opening up VA beds. I spoke with Governor John Bel Edwards in Louisiana, and was encouraged to hear from him that, as you heard Dr. Birx say, that new cases were down slightly. In fact, we're seeing a trend of some leveling among all of the governors I spoke to today. And I know what the Secretary of the VA just announced about opening up VA facilities has been a priority for Governor Edwards, but I assured him we're going to continue to send resources and supplies and personnel to support their health care. In Michigan today, I spoke to both Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Mayor Mike Duggan of the city of Detroit. Governor Whitmer and I spoke about a new program in Detroit that will make hydrochloroquine available for 3,000 patients through the Henry Ford Hospital. They'll be tracking in a formal study the results of that. But at the President's urging, I assured her that we're more than prepared to make hydrochloroquine broadly available to pharmacies and doctors' offices across the Detroit area as they deem appropriate. I also heard from Mayor Mike Duggan, as I told you, Mr. President, and he was so grateful to the FDA, not only for approving the Henry Ford Hospital test that will be exploring hydrochloroquine, but also for the rapid approval of the 15-minute test. In fact, Mayor Duggan told me that he was able to use the 15-minute test this weekend to test 150 first responders who had been sidelined because they'd been exposed to the coronavirus. They all got the 15-minute test. They're all back in the line of duty, and the mayor couldn't have been more grateful. In Illinois, I spoke with Governor J.B. Pritzker, as well as Mayor Lori Lightfoot of Chicago. As you just heard, not only have we sent 600 ventilators to the state of Illinois, but I assured the governor, I assured the mayor that while the principal focus that we have in the next several days is on the rising cases in the greater New York City area and Louisiana, that Michigan and Illinois are in the forefront of our thinking, and at the President's direction, we're going to make sure the people of Illinois, people of Michigan have the resources, equipment, and support that they need. The governor did express great appreciation for the fact that our Army Corps of Engineers had constructed 500 beds at McCormick Place, and before the end of this week would construct another 2,500 beds for an overflow healthcare facility in Chicago. In fact, Mr. President, Mayor Lightfoot told me that the Army Corps was just outstanding in the job that they had been doing in constructing that extra bed space. As I close, let me just express, as the President did, our profound appreciation for Governor Kate Brown and Governor Jay Inslee. The state of Oregon and the state of Washington are leading by example. Oregon sent 140 ventilators to New York City. They looked at their circumstances and concluded that they could spare those at the point of the need. And because of the low and steady numbers in Washington State and in California, Governor Inslee today announced that they were sending 400 ventilators back to the strategic national stockpile, and those will be deployed at the point of the need. You know, not only are California and Washington State low and steady, but frankly, as I talk to governors and mayors today, I want to say to the American people that we are beginning to see the glimmers of progress. The experts will tell me not to jump to any conclusions, and I'm not, but like your president, I'm an optimistic person and I'm hopeful. And the truth is, we're starting to see cases and, most importantly, losses and hospitalizations begin to stabilize. But make no mistake about it, I want to say to the American people, if that holds, if that's happening, it's because of what all of you are doing. It's because the American people are putting into practice the coronavirus guidelines for America. You're listening to your state and local officials. You're practicing social distancing. You're using drive-throughs instead of going into restaurants. And so on behalf of your president and all of us, working really at every level, I just want to say thank you, America. Thank you for responding. Thank you for putting other people's lives in the forefront of your thinking, putting it again over and above your own inconvenience and difficulty. Because of your efforts, there is, as the President just said, light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm absolutely convinced, with the continued cooperation, patience, persistence, and prayers of the American people, we'll get through this, and we'll get through this a lot sooner than we first thought it would take. Thank you.